So Asia had a really beautiful observation that I thought it's just worth sharing. And I know some of you have talked to you about this, but she was just saying, she's like, oh, when I first came and I was warming up, my shooting was really nice. And then as I'm shooting, it's getting worse and worse. Right? Did anyone else notice that? Yeah? So what's happening here?
Shading?
No.
Expectation.
There's an expectation. Yeah? Right? And then why does that expectation then make your shooting worse? It's very, very, very good. And it's like, even like, it doesn't matter who it is, like whether you've done archery for 5 years or 10 years, right? If you let this happen, you will not be accurate, right? And people will try do different things to try to fix it, but ultimately, until you develop the mental or the spiritual discipline, it's just a lie, yeah. And some of you will try like doing things differently to become more accurate, but it's just a lie, right? What happens is when we come to expectation, is that if you know I'm gonna hit you, right? If you don't know I'm gonna hit you, you'll take it. But if you know that I'm gonna punch you or I'm gonna push you, generally you'll tense up, yeah, or you'll brace, or if it's a fight, you'll try dodge or avoid it, yeah. If you're driving and a car comes in front of you and it's about to collide into you, what do? You'll slam the brakes or you'll swerve, right? Why is that?
Racing.
Because you don't want to crash, yeah. Like, we're hardwired to want to avoid conflict or causing an explosion, yeah. Right? Does that make sense? Like, we don't want that to happen, right? One of the, I guess, the things about archery is that then we're going against our subconscious, because you're deliberately causing impact. You're deliberately trying to cause an explosion where two objects are colliding, right? And the more refined that is, then the harder it is. So when you're a beginner, and a lot of you would have felt this, when you're thinking, oh, I'm never going to hit the target, whatever, all your arrows start flying straight, right? And even here, when you come and you start warming up, you're like, oh yeah, it's pretty good. And then as soon as you put it into your mind, hey, I can hit it, then you might even notice that sometimes you'll pick this dot here, and then you'll have your first arrow come just above it, then your next arrow come just below it, and your next arrow just to the right of it. It's not a form issue there anymore. It's a mental issue, it's an expectation, right? So when we say stance and release are the most important pillars in a way, it's because we're working through not what's physically happening, but what's happening internally. Does that make sense? Yeah? So there are two ways, there are 2 or 3 different ways that we can overcome this what some people will call the core problem of archery, the core problem of shooting, right? And this is where the East and West diverge, right? So you remember we were talking about with Howard Hill, or with the archer, they asked him, what do you think when you're looking at the target? And what does he say? I think savage animal, kill, kill, kill. So the way that they overcome this system within you, the subconscious system within you, is with aggression, right? That I'm just going to shut that noise out, right? And the way that we do it's a little bit different, and that's when we start working on the breathing and the adhkar and that kind of thing, and we try find like within us, like a state of flow where we're not worried about the brace.